Afternoon, INFJs. Back again. I voted. You should too. I know, it's the midterms, but you gotta vote anyway, especially if you like to talk politics and you like to bitch about politics. If you don't go vote, you're not allowed to bitch. So, if you like going on political rants like I do, I mean, go vote. Anyway, I want to get into another topic that isn't really discussed about INFJs very much, and that is, and we're often judged for this, but like most things, it's a good reason. Why INFJs are not big on second chances. And the reason for this, it's essentially twofold. Maybe I'll think of something else as I'm making it, but from what I can gather, it stems to two things: all or nothing syndrome, and even more so, trust issues. Now, with all or nothing syndrome, INFJs, anything we get involved with, we're all in or we're all out. There's no halfway, be it a job, a relationship, a hobby, whatever, an interest. It's all in or all out. There's no halfway, and we're very upfront about it. So, in instances where people are being disingenuous um, about that, like be it if a job is like a the bait and switch job advert. It's like, well, wait a minute, that's not what I signed up for. Well, that's the boomer bosses. Well, yeah, walk out. Same with this one's worse. If you're getting involved in a relationship, which INFJs are cautious about, we're selective and we get to know people quite a bit before we open up and let them know exactly like, hey, this is, we're either all in or this is either, we're either giving this a real fair shot or no. And sometimes people will try to bullshit you with that. And that's not only painful, but infuriating because it's like, wait a minute. Um, I was like honest the whole time about who I am and what I was looking for. And you've told me you were too. And you weren't. So, in that kind of instance, our reaction would be to door slam the person and not trust them anymore because say they may come back 6 months later and was like, oh, I made a big mistake, this and that. It's like, no, you made your choice. And sometimes even if it's somebody you really like, we might hang in there for a couple weeks, like, are you sure? Basically give that person time to think it over. That's rare, but we do it on occasion. But even if after that it's like, okay, you made your choice, and it's tough for us in situations like that one to give someone a second chance because it's like this person was dishonest. You know, I'm not, and it's different for like relationships that don't work out. I'm talking about like somebody who wants to get involved with you and pushes you to open up. And then as soon as you do, are like, no, I changed my mind. It's like, wait a minute, you said fair shot. It's like, you don't know what that is. I'm like, hey, but that is true in my case for a lot of things. Damn curse. So, in a situation like that, it would be extremely difficult for that person to win over the trust of the INFJ again, because the INFJ is going to, no matter what they try, the only thing going through our head would be, you hurt me. You lied to me. Why should I trust you? How can I trust you? How can I believe anything you say? And this is how we get judged a lot for this, where it's like, oh, well, someone made a mistake and they really care about you. I'm like, nope, nope, no, they don't, no, they don't. They had no empathy, but they hurt me. No, they don't, no, they don't. You know, again, remembering days in my early 20s at the moment. No matter how much we don't succumb to pressure of people, people may not like that we don't give very many second chances, but we, or at least learn to, listen to our intuition over time, most of the time, probably. And we'll go with that over what peer pressure is telling us. Like, oh no, you should get involved with her. It's like, I can't trust her as far as I can throw her. Yeah, dude, but come on, it's different this time. Like, well, no, 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 no. Yeah, things like that. So anything that where people are disingenuous with us and not upfront and then try to, come back in our lives, like the examples I gave, it'd be very hard for an INFJ to trust that person again, because one time we did trust them, they told us we could trust them and then they hurt us. Yeah. And this is something that's hard for INFJs to understand about second chances because we're so independent minded and, we do what we want and we go by our intuition, not by what other people want us to do. It's hard for us to understand why somebody would be given, in a lot of cases, multiple second chances. Now, here, I told you I forgot a point. The other reason why, I'll get to trust issues at the end because that's going to be the longest part. Another reason why INFJs do not usually give second chances is because we are oh so rarely ever given a first chance. That's right. So in our minds, it's like, well, wait a minute, like, whether it be a job or we always seem to be the person getting screwed over, like the person who does everything right but still gets screwed over, for some sensor type that exerted themselves and forced their way in, like, oh, I need this to my nephew, and oh, I need you, I can't live without you. It's like, but, so given that INFJs are the type to be cautious about what they take a shot on and, know what they're getting into, uh, when we decide that we're going to go for something, no matter what it is, we expect to be given a fair shot. And when we're not, it's hard for us to understand why other people would deserve multiple chances when, it's like, well, I did everything right to get a first shot, but you told me I can't have that because I'm me, basically. Ooh, yeah, like Arlington. It's like, well, this, they didn't pass the test, but their uncle's in the department. It's like, well, I passed. It's like, yeah, but you're you. And yeah, 2006. So in situations like that, it's tough because we feel cheated by the world in the sense that it's like, wait a minute, third chance, first chance. Like, don't I get a first one before he gets a third one? Like, isn't that sounds fair to me? And a lot of times in these situations, people, to put it bluntly, the more you fuck up, the more people bend over backwards to help you. If you're like a typical INFJ, like I am, you can't catch a break and nobody cares. Nobody cares. That whole, empathy thing, we're supposed to give it and not receive it because apparently we exist only to serve others, according to people. So, boomers. It's hard for us really to understand. It's like, well, this person keeps getting DUIs, keeps doing drugs, like keeps fucking up of their own free will. Nobody is screwing them. Nobody is cheating them. Nobody is out to get them. Nobody is gaslighting them. They just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. And a lot of people are like, oh, boo hoo, poor so and so. Let's build them back up for a fourth time. And it's like, what about me? Like, can I have what I earned? What I earned and was cheated out of? How about that? How dare you complain? Is what it is. You know, everything happens for a reason. Boomer, boomer, boomer. Yeah, shit like that. That lack of empathy and how our pain doesn't matter, our suffering doesn't matter. Even when we get cheated, it doesn't matter because we're us. It's like, that's for the in, empathy's for the in crowd. No, you're not in the in crowd, INFJ. No, you are not. So that can make it difficult for us to, to give people second chances because we're so used to not even getting a fair first chance. And we want that because we're pretty good at proving ourselves when given a fair chance, which, as I just said, is rare. And of course, trust issues, which INFJs have, and with good reason, because we get stabbed in the back a lot. I did a couple videos on trust issues. There's some of my older videos. You should go watch them. And it's because of trust issues is a big reason why we don't give second chances. Because if someone breaks our trust, it's almost impossible to get it back because we're selective of who we can trust. And especially if it's somebody who told us outright we could trust them and we kind of tested them for a little bit. And it's like, I guess you get me and you're trustworthy. And then they betray that trust the second it's convenient or under the slightest bit of pressure from somebody else. And in our minds, somebody who is untrustworthy is untrustworthy. That's very unlikely to change. There's people that can keep information to themselves and people who can't. And people that are, easily succumb to peer pressure are not those people. So we're selective of who we form bonds with, who we let in, who we're willing to be vulnerable around. And if somebody is able to earn our trust and then subsequently betrays it, even if we didn't do anything wrong to them or wrong them in any way, it's highly unlikely that we would trust that person again. It's more than likely that they would be door slammed, and with good reason. So it's because of these reasons why INFJs so rarely give second chances. So before you judge an INFJ for wondering why they are not giving somebody a second chance, think to yourself, when was the last time that INFJ got a fair first chance at anything? Remember, INFJs, don't listen to other people. Trust your intuition if somebody deserves a second chance. Your intuition and only yours. Don't sell out your integrity giving someone a second chance simply because you're being pressured to do so.